Have you ever noticed something strange? Two people can earn the exact same income, live in the same city, work similar jobs, and yet 10 years later, one is financially free while the other is still living paycheck to paycheck. How is that possible? Most people immediately assume it's because one person made more money, but surprisingly, that's often not the reason. The real reason is usually much smaller, much quieter, and much more dangerous. In fact, it's sitting in driveways all across America right now. It's parked outside apartment buildings, parked outside suburban homes, parked outside office buildings, parked outside shopping centers. And millions of people don't even realize it's slowly draining their future. I'm talking about the car payment trap. And honestly, this may be one of the most expensive financial mistakes people make without ever realizing it. Because the trap doesn't feel like a trap. That's what makes it so dangerous. It feels normal. Everyone does it. Friends do it. Co-workers do it. Family members do it. Social media encourages it. Advertisements celebrate it. Dealerships make it sound smart. Banks make it sound affordable. And before long, people convince themselves that having a car payment is simply part of adult life. But what if that belief is costing people hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime? What if the biggest problem isn't the car itself, but the system built around convincing people that monthly payments are normal? Because once you understand how the car payment trap actually works, you'll start seeing it everywhere. And trust me, after today, you may never look at car payments the same way again. Now, before anyone gets upset, this isn't about saying cars are bad. Cars are necessary. For many people, they're essential. People need transportation. People need reliability. People need safety. People need vehicles to get to work, support families, and live their lives. That's not the issue. The issue is how people buy them. Because most people never ask the most important question. They ask, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" Instead of asking, "How much is this decision actually costing me?" And those two questions produce completely different outcomes. Let's imagine someone walks into a dealership. They see a beautiful new vehicle. The seats smell new. The technology is impressive. The dashboard lights up like a spaceship. The salesperson is friendly. Everything feels exciting. Then comes the magic question. What monthly payment are you comfortable with? Notice what happened. The conversation immediately shifted away from the total cost, away from the interest, away from the long-term financial impact, and directly toward the monthly payment. Because monthly payments make expensive things feel affordable. That's the secret. A $50,000 vehicle sounds expensive, but $699 per month sounds manageable. A $70,000 vehicle sounds intimidating, but $899 per month sounds possible. And that's how people slowly become trapped. Not because they're irresponsible, not because they're bad with money, because they're looking at the wrong number. Now here's where things get scary. Let's say someone finances a vehicle for 7 years. 7 years. Think about that. Many people are still paying for a vehicle long after the excitement disappeared, long after the new car smell vanished, long after newer models arrived, long after the emotional high wore off. And every month, money keeps leaving their account, month after month, year after year. Now imagine a $700 monthly payment. At first, it doesn't seem devastating. But let's do something most people never do. Let's zoom out. $700 per month becomes $8,400 per year. Over 5 years, that's $42,000. Over 7 years, it's nearly $59,000. And that's before considering what that money could have become if invested. This is where the real trap begins. Because the payment itself isn't the biggest cost. The opportunity cost is. Opportunity cost is one of the most important financial concepts nobody talks about. Every dollar spent in one place can't be used somewhere else. Every financial decision closes another door. So when someone commits to a massive car payment, they're not just buying a vehicle. They're giving up future possibilities, future investments, future flexibility, future freedom. Now imagine investing that same $700 every month, not for 1 year, not for 5 years, for decades. The difference can become hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even more. That's why wealthy people often think differently about purchases. They're not asking, "What does this cost today?" They're asking, "What is this costing my future?" Completely different question, completely different outcome. Now here's something even more interesting. Many people buy expensive cars believing it will make them look successful. And for a short time, maybe it does. People compliment the vehicle, friends notice, neighbors pay attention, social media gets engagement. But eventually, nobody cares. Seriously, the excitement fades, the attention disappears, and the payment remains. That's one of the cruelest parts of the trap. The emotional reward is temporary. The financial consequences are long-term. Now think carefully about this. Have you ever noticed how many financially stressed people drive expensive vehicles? It's surprisingly common. You see luxury vehicles parked outside apartments, high-end trucks owned by people drowning in debt, brand new SUVs driven by people with almost no savings. Why? Because modern culture often encourages people to look wealthy before they become wealthy. That's a dangerous game, because real wealth and the appearance of wealth are completely different things. One builds freedom, the other builds payments. One creates options, the other creates obligations. And many people spend years chasing the appearance of success while accidentally delaying actual success. Now here's where everything starts changing. The moment someone realizes a car is primarily transportation, not identity, not status, not self-worth. Transportation. That realization can completely transform financial decisions, because suddenly the goal shifts. Instead of impressing people, the goal becomes building freedom. Instead of maximizing monthly payments, the goal becomes maximizing future opportunities. Instead of looking rich, the goal becomes becoming rich. And those are very different paths. Now don't misunderstand. This doesn't mean nobody should ever buy a nice vehicle. That's not the point. The point is intentionality. Can you truly afford it? Is it helping your life? Or is it quietly controlling your finances? Because many people don't own their car payment. Their car payment owns them. It determines where they work. It determines how much risk they can take. It determines how much they can save. It determines how much stress they experience. And sometimes it determines how long they'll stay financially stuck. That's why the car payment trap is so powerful. It doesn't destroy wealth overnight. It slowly prevents wealth from being built. Month by month, payment by payment, year after year, almost invisibly. Now here's the irony. The people who become financially successful often have the ability to buy almost any vehicle they want, but many of them don't rush to do it. Why? Because they understand something most people never learn. Freedom feels better than impressing strangers. Having investments feels better than having payments. Having options feels better than having obligations. And once someone experiences real financial freedom, the appeal of constant monthly payments often starts disappearing, because they finally understand the secret. The goal was never the car. The goal was the life the car was supposed to represent. And ironically, the car payment trap often delays that life instead of creating it. That's why nobody talks about it. Because the trap doesn't look dangerous. It looks normal. It looks successful. It looks exciting. But beneath the surface, it may be one of the biggest wealth killers hiding in plain sight. And once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere.